So hello everyone, good morning. Wait till everybody comes on, but I wanted to talk about my first guest because it was interesting. Sheevaun, we met, I want to say it was like 2015. And when I met you, there was this, wow, who is this person, right? You've got such a light. And we hadn't really seen each other or talked or anything. And your name came up to me. It was really weird. It like just popped in my mind, and I really hadn't, sought you out. It was just like a popping in my mind. I thought, oh my gosh, I haven't seen her in a really long time. And then all of a sudden, within, I want to say it was like a couple of days, we were both at, I think it was Joe Polish's event in Scottsdale, and I walk in and I walked in late because I had to do something in the morning. And so the conference was already going on. So everybody was inside, and there you are hanging out in the lobby area. And I walked
I'm
in and I'm
standing on this plate machine, the shake plate machine, and I was like, nobody see me. Nobody should be seeing me right now. I'm doing weird stuff. I thought I was alone.
nope. I mean, I literally walked in and we were like a beacon of light. I was like, Sheevaun. I mean, I think I might have probably totally freaked you out because you're like, okay, I don't want anybody to see me. And I'm like, Sheevaun, I literally thought about you yesterday.
That's exactly what happened.
You're like, no, nobody see me.
I was like, oh, hi.
Well, it had been many years too. And what was interesting is that it was just in this period for me where I had started channeling the council, and I hadn't gone public. I mean, it was literally like a couple of months. And I had just, I want to say it was like before December, maybe it was like in November. So I just started channeling the council in September, saw you in November, went on a retreat where they gave me this download for this quantum energy mastery course, right? And so I saw you, connected with you. We even exchanged phone numbers, but we didn't do anything with it. I think we just said hi a couple of times. And then all of a sudden I get this download for them wanting me to create this program. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm going to go and get the URL. That's always the first thing I do, right? So I go to check out energymastery.com, and bam,
There she is.
there you are again. And I was like, oh my God. And so that's when we really connected, because I'm like, I really need to connect with you on a deeper level. And so I did some work with you, which was phenomenal. And were helping me, get my business back in a groove, because there were many years where I got disconnected from my business because of some of the people that were in it, and those people left, and it was like I needed that rev up in energy and to get back into that expansiveness of abundance that I had. So I will always appreciate the influence that you had in my life, especially at that time when I needed that, fire under me. So, and what I love about you is that, your business is trademarked energy mastery, right? And yet the council's like, this is what we're teaching in a different way. We teach different things, right? They come through and they want to teach this certain thing. And yet graciously, because it's your trademark, energy mastery, I'm allowed to use quantum energy mastery because quantum success is my trademark. So putting the two of them together. And you were so gracious in that. And that just shows for me, you really walk your talk, the generosity of that, because there's a lot of people that be like, no, I own that. Right. And the consciousness of, no, now you're going to compete with me, which, you have your own amazing processes and that, and what you teach. And then the council has what they teach through me. So, just truly one of these light bearers in the world. And I'm grateful for you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's energy mastery came a long, long, long time ago, and we used to use it as a throwaway phrase. We started using it about 15 years ago. And so I've been dealing with the energetics for even longer than that. When I left corporate, my first company was called is called Energetic Solutions. I was driving down the freeway and I was thinking, well, I need to create a brand, I need to think about this. And I thought, no, I don't. Driving down the 405 in Southern California. It is super heavy traffic. And Energetic Solutions came in, and I did the same thing, went and looked for the URL. This is in the ancient days, right?
Right.
And some company that is an energy company in some other country had it. And so I reached out to the CEO and I tried to get them to release it because they weren't using it. So here's something funny. It took them 15 years to release it.
Wow.
Isn't that wild? Yeah.
That's
So we stayed
wild
on
that
it.
that's wild that you stayed on them. Most people
Stayed on them.
most people give up. Let's talk about that. Let's just break this down, because that was a desire that you had, right? It was
not necessarily mine, but yes.
But it was
one of the things I'm here to do. Yes.
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah. So it came through you, and you just feeling that it wasn't Sheevaun's personality wanting this as a desire, right? It's not like buying a beautiful pair of shoes or going on a trip, or, you know, it was a kind of an assignment, as I like to call them, right?
Yeah, I kind of looked at it like, this is exactly what I do, and it makes the most. So I'm so logic based, right? I'm an ex-coder, so I got the logic thing with all the woo stuff. And so I looked at it as, I built brands, and it makes so much logical sense, it's inevitable. That's how I looked at it.
I love it. And so you just continued to, even though, you know, someone would hear, well, no, we have it, we're not giving up, or they might ignore the requests, or, you know, how did you stay in that moving towards? Was it just holding that vision, or what did you do?
This is a cool story. It's kind of a long, I'm going to compress it, but so we bought energeticsolutions.net, and we built a brand. It was Alexa rated to like 1,000, which is unheard of. And, you know, we did this awesome stuff. And then something occurred where it got hacked. And I thought, and I stayed, you know, I just continued to stay in process of, you know, reaching out to them. And by that time, they were so far departed from Energetic Solutions. It was really interesting. I thought, why are they not giving that? Maybe they just don't know. So I just thought I'd stay. And then Energetic Solutions, my website, thousands of pages got hacked and taken. And I thought, wow, I must be doing something really interesting that people think that this is needed to be hacked and taken. And so I found a hacker from this, anyway, I found this cool hacker who is like this very serious hacker, and he hacked the hackers, and I got it back. And then it got hacked again. I thought, okay, this is fascinating. So I got the hacker to actually go up the chain, and he was part of some other government. And he was like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to get it for you, and we're going to lock it. I was like, okay, we'll see. And he did it. We got it back. We got all of our stuff downloaded just in case it happened again. And it happened a third time, right? And I thought, this is really fascinating. And so being an ex-coder, I haven't done that stuff since I was little. So I said to all my team, I said, don't talk to me, don't touch me, don't think about me. I'm going in, and I'm never doing this again. Just so you know, because I'm getting all the rest of our stuff. I'm going to get it. I'm going to get all of our stuff. I'm going to find the problem, and we're going to change it. And that's when we had to change it to Sheevaun Moran. And Energetic Solutions became the umbrella for energy mastery and all of the different energetic things that we do.
Wow.
So it's kind of cool.
Yeah, it is very cool. Amazing. So so what do you, when you talk about desires, right? You know, when we're getting into the nitty gritty of this discussion, because this really is from what the council teaches on energy mastery and what we teach in quantum energy mastery, desire factor brings in those principles that everything is energy, and that all energy carries a vibration, and that all vibrations go out into the universe, and anything that is brought into our sphere, into our life, is nothing is asserted, it's all attracted, right? And so if it's something that we're displeased with, something we don't enjoy, we're not liking, we're have the best intentions, we have the visualization, we're feeling our way into our desires, we feel excited about it, and those, what I call split energy, right? That energy that says, no, you can't do it, or you're not good enough, or even the stuff that we don't even know, like we're not aware or conscious, but we feel, people would call it, I feel I have a block, right? Or I feel like I just can't move ahead. What is the first thing that you share with people that feel that, like they just want it, they feel like there's so much more for them, they want to go bigger, and yet they feel like they're, the best way I could describe it is like a racehorse, and there's a gate, right? And it's like the racehorse is waiting for the gate to open.
Kind of like when we met and started doing that work, you were like, I have all of this. And I was like, yeah, it's totally pent up. It's totally backed up, totally. So one of the first things that's essential is we have to take feel out of it. So really interesting is energy doesn't apply to feel. It's kind of fascinating. So energy applies to just the being of the planet. Today's Earth Day, kind of cool, right? It's all energy. So all of this beautiful, thoughtful energy is being emanated from every being's heart. So every being has a desire today, right, to do something good for the planet, virtually every being. And if they don't, then it's not going to be negative, right? But there's so much hope and wonder and beautiful stuff. And the fascinating thing about that is we have to start looking at energy first before we deal with feel, right? And so I always say, start with anchoring yourself into earth, get grounded. You know, I have that technique, this grounding technique that we have, for lack of a better word, patented. And we give it away because it's important, it's empowering, and it doesn't allow you to fake it, right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't allow you to fake being in your body. And most people who have traumas, right, that brain stuff, they fake being in their body, and they push and they will, and so they push on a desire, and they push and push and push, and the breakage happens in the human that's pushing, right? So we start with, let's get grounded first, right? Because you'll have a thousand thoughts, but until you get grounded, it's not going to start getting into sequence that is essential. So let's just say, because you know this about me, I'm super humble. And one of those things is about staying out of the pride that it's me, it's about me. None of this is about me. It is just not my jam to like make it about me, even though my name's everywhere, etc. And if I were to dive into that as a human desire, then my human person would be the one in danger or in consequence or having an issue. And you can see this with a lot of people who deal with energy stuff, right? Yeah. They confuse that one with the act of service and the being and the doing and the having and the accepting and taking another step. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does to me. Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So you call your first step is grounding, right? I call it in the desire factor. Yeah. Alignment. Right? Alignment.
Well, you can be aligned, but you might be just 1 degree off, but the grounding allows you to anchor into the earth, into your body, into all of your energy bodies. So all of your energy bodies can come together when you do this grounding, right? Yes. And then you get into alignment, and then you can actually hear better. You can do better. You can thrive better. You can achieve better. You can prosper better.
Yeah, absolutely. So you have, I just put a link in there, it's, it's epiclifetoolkit.com to learn more about Sheevaun, but is that in the Epic Life Toolkit, the grounding process?
It isn't, it's in the email sequence because so one of the things about me having been a coder is I don't throw everything out all at once. I want you to take a step and succeed, and take a step and succeed. I mean, you saw this in our work, right? Yeah. Take a step and succeed. And I'm going to check. I check on people. We have a super high touch system. I hear something, or I'm like, oh yeah, check on them, see how they're doing, if they're okay. And I'll be like, I don't remember their name. I saw them opt into something, and I don't go and look. It just shows up so that I can be awake to help them. And so that takes them through 7 steps, and then they get the grounding technique.
Okay, awesome. So you can go to the Epic Toolkit, right? I'm saying
Epic
that right?
Life Toolkit.com.
EpicLifeToolkit.com. It's in the Facebook link. I put it in there if you look at the description. But definitely recommend go check out Sheevaun's stuff. We teach differently, and yet we're teaching energy stuff. And that's what's awesome is that when you come to this level of awareness, right? It's like, there's no competition. There's no comparison. It's just, it's downloaded through you. It was literally downloaded through you. And like you said, and you're not taking credit for it. You're the conduit through which it comes, right? It's not about you. And yet it's here to serve. So some people feel really aligned with that, and other people feel really aligned with something else. But this is just an opportunity to offer you all, a different doorway into it. But I totally agree with you. It's like you have to ground your body, because so many people, and I know you've seen this too, and I used to be guilty of it too, is like, I wanted to meditate, and I would meditate because I wanted to leave my body.
That's right. That's right.
So,
and most people want to leave their body a lot. We can see that today with a lot of people doing plant medicine.
yes.
And it's really about escape. And it's more like, we're going to do better if we're grounded, because we can escape in a different way. But there's something that popped in my brain the other second after when you were talking about desire. And I wanted to make sure, I hope this is going to help your folks. One of the things that we do that we've learned from when we're children is the push, and that desire thing that is essential, or that we know is right, is we're going to try to use our old childhood way of pushing to get what we want. And a desire is, if we look at the energy of desire, desire is kind of like a fine line to walk, right? Of I want it to, it's gonna be here, it's come, all of that piece. So it's really that fine line. And one of the things that happens, and I know you see this with your folks, is that people get frustrated that it's not here fast enough. Right?
All the time.
Where
is he? I had a woman I was coaching one day, and she was like, listen, I know what he looks like. I have dreamt and visualized him a million times. I see us having kids together. She had the whole life planned out, the whole thing. And she was just like, I feel him. Where is he? And I was like, the where is he is keeping you separated from that vision.
Totally. That's exactly right. Yeah. So that's the push that everybody wants to do whenever they have their desire.
Yeah.
And that's ungroundedness, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Because that's what I was just going to say, is that once you understand that it's coming from a impatience, a place of lack is not grounded. Lack leaves you feeling anxious and in uncertainty, and leaves you feeling, just fearful, and you just don't feel good when you're in lack. You can't be grounded. That's when we want to escape our bodies, because we don't feel good in that. That's where we want to go smoke or drink or shop or,
right. Or get sick. A lot of people get sick, right? A lot of people get sick. There's another little tool that I think would help your folks after the grounded is disconnection from other folks, because their energy is going to mash with your desire, and then it's going to get into chaos. I wonder if I have a little picture. Give me 1 second. In my stash back here, it gets you into what I call Poopyville.
Show that again. That's hysterical.
Isn't it?
Oh my
right?
gosh, that's what it feels like when I'm around my mom sometimes.
Right? But that's when you're around a whole bunch of people and it's just doing that. And they're messing with where you want to go and where your energy is and what you're here to do and how you're here to get it.
Absolutely.
And you're hanging out in Poopyville. Isn't that funny?
Poopyville. I love it. I love it. I love it. So I know you have just tool after tool after tool. Everybody can, definitely benefit from all of your just wisdom and years. And I know you've helped a lot of people that are leaders in personal development, in this world. You're kind of like the coach's coach or the healer's healer. And there's a lot of amazing people that have turned to you for help, myself included. When I was in that I'm stuck, I was in that in-between place between really allowing the council's wisdom to come in and guide me, and where I was really grounded to the old stuck energy. And it was like, you're the one that helped that clear that away. And I'm so forever grateful for you for that, because, and you had said something to me, which is really interesting. You said to me, you're not the same woman I met the first time I met you. And that was like, wow. And that got me reflective and thinking about, well, what was my energy like then and how is it different now? And I had taken a step back from that empowerment and feeling that groundedness and all of that, and really was escaping, because my success had skyrocketed, and I wasn't my consciousness hadn't kept up with that. And so I then started to sabotage, and I kept sabotaging and closing down and escaping. And just grateful that I got woken up from you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I'm excited about your book. People need to understand the distinction of desire.
Yeah, it's important. It's really important. And to understand that it's like every desire we have, when it feels like ooh, right? It's like it's a leaning into something that leads to something else. And it's so important for this time, especially because so many people are like, oh, they're focused on what they don't want, and the fear and the uncertainty, and
exactly.
So love for you to talk about that.
Yeah, so I call them the unts, and apostrophe T's. Wouldn't, couldn't, can't, won't, don't, etc. I call them the unts. You have to stay away from the unts. And if you find yourself unting, and you will, because everybody unts, everybody, the apostrophe T's all over. You can see it in the news. You can see it on billboards. I love times like now, because we've just come out, or we're trying to come out of whatever that weird stuff was. And I could go off on a whole tangent there, but it won't. But one of the little things that we did with one of our groups was, I said, find me all of the billboards that have a positive bent right now, because right now everybody's in hope, and they're out of the unts. They're more so out of the unts. And so when people have a desire, there's this really fascinating thing, because like that person, like that woman you were talking about, is, I know, I have a client, and she says, I see billions and this and billions and billions. And I was like, yeah, that's really cool. I can get you there. And this is somebody who's just basically starting. I can get you there, but you can't be attached to the billions, because there's this thing called the principle of lag time, that we actually have to allow ourselves to get out of the unts, so our next opportunity to step up can arrive. So I told her the story of this one guy who really could get to $1 billion, and he broke it so bad because he was in such a hurry. So he was pushing it, and he was pushing it and pushing it. So he had to declare bankruptcy because he pushed it so hard. And we're still in touch, and he has this ginormous real estate company now, and he is going to hit the billions. But that principle of lag time had to happen in order for him to really grow through it and stop pushing the things that were that he needed to say yes more to. And one of the yeses was a special needs child. And the other yes was to have a better connection with his wife and his family. And so we started with the money, but I said, but at the same time, you have to deal with the wife and the family. This is essential.
Yeah.
They're not to be left behind. They need to come along.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Totally agree. It's amazing because we need to become more of, who we're going to be. And that's again what, like, the desire for, he had a desire for billions, right? Why? Because he wanted to be more of who he is. He wanted to have more, be more, experience more. And that's what we're always led. It's like, it's always the spark of a desire that leads us on that journey, which is just brilliant.
If we accept the opportunity to shed, like, the things with the uns, to really give ourselves to time to get grounded, to get out of the poopyville of what other people think and say and are doing around us. And it doesn't mean they have to be left behind. We just have to be different for them. And that's where our energy matters, is cleaning up that swirling poopyville is essential. It is a number one essential to any desire coming sooner. Can I tell this one story that happened yesterday?
Yeah.
So talk about fast desire achieved, right? So I walk in this area and it's all blocked off for cars. Been that way for a couple of years. I guess something happened. I don't know. And it's great. And I get to see this great big panorama. It's wonderful. And yesterday there was a truck that zoomed by, and I was kind of shaken out of my walking reverie. And I thought, what the heck is happening? Are they part of like the restoration process? And I thought, no, that doesn't look like a restoration truck. So walked up to the guy, hey, how are you? What's going on? He says, I'm here for the view. I said, so how'd you get in? Super nice. And he's like, the gate was open. I said, really? That's a miracle. That's really not supposed to be happening. And so we had another few moments of conversation. And then he went off on to how bad I am for saying and speaking up to him. He went off on the uns, wouldn't, couldn't, can't, shouldn't. And I said, oh, so now you're going to be nasty and now you're going to be unkind. All I did was ask you a question. I said, I was just trying to figure out what's happening. And then he went off on a bigger tangent of yelling at me, started calling me all kinds of names. And I said, you know what? We don't deal with people like you. And I walked away. And I'm walking away. He says, well, and you can call the police. And I said, I'm not going to call the police. That's just a waste of time. Right. So I walked away. I go get in my car. I do a U-turn to get out of the little area. And right in front of me, it wasn't there before, right in front of me was a police car. I'm honking my horn. I was like, all right, now you got me doing the police thing. You wanted me to call the police? You wanted the police? We got the police for you. So he had a desire to have an altercation. I didn't. I thought, well, maybe he should have the police called on him because he was really a poop head. and so I started to dial it. It wouldn't work on my phone. I thought, whatever. And then the car showed up. I thought, oh, here we go. This is happening. So that principle of lag time shrunk because I wasn't pushing it.
Yeah.
Because he wanted that. And so he got that really poopy, ugly thing.
What I love is that, okay, even you, Sheevaun, you have meetups, right? You have contrast of a guy that you're just asking a question. Hey, there's usually, you're curious, right? Yeah. And then you have this guy that kind of verbally, if you will, started attacking you and getting offensive and all that kind of stuff. So after a situation like that, what do you do to make sure that your energy is cleared of his energy?
So because I'm already clean, because I have no judgment on him, first of all, I don't judge. One of the things I came in this life with is I have so little judgment. I just don't judge people. I'm always like, all right, whatever. So that's one, it doesn't stick to me. right? It doesn't stick to me in the same way. It doesn't play in my sphere. So this little, Poopyville thing, it's clean already of any connection to that. So we've got that. I wasn't mad at him, right? I didn't make him wrong. I didn't think he was wrong. And I didn't want anything other than, let's find out about you. So I just had this really clean palette of who this human being is and where he's at, what he's doing, what he looked like, his demeanor. And then when it shifted, I just walked away. And one of the things they'll get in the little thing is the cutting the cords, is cut the cords. And got in my car and I was like, oh, little baby soul, he's having a bad day. And then the police showed up. So I was cleaned up of it pretty instantaneously, because I look at every circumstance as an opportunity to take whatever joy and light and happiness that I have, to just be like, oh, he's going to have a better day after this. He's totally going to feel better and he won't know why.
I love it. That's awesome.
And so that's kind of how I walk around.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I love it. Well, I'm so grateful that you were with me today.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Love you so much. And you're amazing, amazing gifted teacher and healer. So thank you for what you do on the planet. And thank you for your generosity. And I just wanted to remind everybody that today is actually the very last day that we're giving away a couple of the bonuses for the launch of the Desire Factor. Right now, if you go to the desirefactor.com only, that's the only place to get it, is you get the audio version and the PDF version of the book. And after today, that goes away. You can still get the bonuses of the 4-week live course with the council, excuse me, and a couple of the meditations, excuse me, that are available until next week. But if you're going to get it now, if you're wanting the audio version of it, because that's going away today. And then this is also the very last day. If you purchase 10 of the books, you get the 12 group sessions with the council. And that's just a $197 cost, with the value is like $3,000. So that's also going away today. So if you're on the fence, if you're thinking about doing it, today would be a good day to do that. Otherwise, you might lose it. So thank you, Sheevaun. Appreciate you so much. Thanks everyone for being part of this amazing community. I appreciate you all so much. Take care, everyone.